What's up, everybody? The Destroyer here. Welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 1v1 on Westfold, which is also not for Division 2. Awesome. Cool. So we have our first player here, Bosomtwe, as Men of the West, and his opponent for this matchup is Daryl as Angmar. Also, I'm noticing the minimap is a bit of a mess. But I guess it kind of accurately represents things, but like this little line here, what the fuck is that supposed to be on the mini map or the real map? Sometimes some of the mini maps are a bit convoluted. Anyway, this would be one of them. All right, so Westfold is looks like a pretty cool map. There's some wolf or warg riders, what the fuck are these called? Layers. Orc layers here and there. There's also a goblin layer there and there, right behind it. Interesting they put two creep layers so close to each other. And then in the corners, it looks like we have a signal fire there and a warg layer there, a signal fire there, warg layer there. So there's a lot of creepage to be had for a 1v1 map, although not really more than any other map, I suppose. There's also a cave troll in the center with an inn, so that could be utilized as well. The map looks pretty good. So yeah, I like it. We have Daryl going for a Hall of the King's Man there. And he's got currently 4 mills going. And Bosomtwe going for is barracks with some Rohan Spearmen. Almost called them Rudar. It's always hard for me not to call them Rudar Spearmen for some reason. He's also got his 4th farm going up. So they're about even right now, as you would expect. We got Thrall going down, and we have a Troll and Wolf Den being thrown down by Daryl. So he's either going to employ the use of dire wolf packs, which is actually a really good counter to these pikemen here. Dire wolf packs are actually very good against pikes in general. I definitely recommend using them when you can, because they cut through them like butter. So, but he could either be going for that, or of course the wolf riders. So we'll see what he opts to do with that. And we have a battalion of Gondor soldiers out for Bosomtwe. Getting another one out there. And throwing down an archery range as well. So we can get some sweet archers out in the field. But of course he's using the pikemen, spearmen rather, to creep the warg layers and goblin layers to get the gold and power points out of them, which is always recommended when you can. And it looks like Daryl is opting to do the same with his Rudar spearmen. Now I can actually call them Rudar spearmen because they are. Yes, indeed they are. Filthy wildmen. That's what they are. And he did indeed go for the wolf riders there. Got a nice flank charge off on these Gondor soldiers as well. Killed them very quickly. They are war chanted also, which helps. But he does clear up that first battalion of soldiers that reach the base easily. And now Bosomtwe is very aware that he's up against Cav. And he's building more pikes as he should. But I think a good thing to do is, when you're forcing your opponent to get a lot of pikes, try and throw in some of the dire wolves, because they will do wonders for you. As long as they're not being burst down by the Gondor archers, of course. Because that's a pretty good counter to them, I think. Archer fire. Otherwise, they will do very nicely. Well, at least make a nice addition to your army. I'm not saying you should just spam dire wolves and hope to win, because that's not going to happen, let's be honest. Signal fire in the bottom left there is taken by Daryl, and this is how much he can see with that. Out to here, he can see a farm's being built. He's sent his spearmen out to deal with that. But that does give him vision of this whole pass in the bottom left, which is nice. So at least he has that going for him. And of course he gets the power recharge reduction, right? Which is also good. Looks like some wolf riders got surrounded there. And they got cleaned up easily. Bosomtwe's army is actually pretty sizable and very diverse as well. He's got archers, swordsmen, and pikes, so he's not relying too heavily on something, which is good. I think a diverse army is usually a better army than something else, because it's harder to counter, as you would expect. We have 3 Hall of the King's Men now. Out for Daryl there. And he is going for the direwolf back. Great. Hope that works well for him. It won't work well if he sends him in there by himself, though, of course. But if he sends him against a single battalion of pikes somewhere, or hits the pikes while he's engaged, then that should be good. They're not meant to tank damage. That's for sure. But of course, you can upgrade them with the spiked collars. Generally speaking, that doesn't really happen. Most players would not throw down 150 resources to give heavy spike collars to direwolves, but I mean, you can. It makes them a bit tankier, I guess. If you have extra money, like late game and stuff, it's pretty good. Early game, I don't find that's particularly gonna be useful when you can almost get another battalion of those damn things for the same price as they are. What, 250? Yeah, 250. So 100 more resources, you get a whole another battalion instead of upgrading. So it's really just a I have extra money thing, I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure how much tankier they actually get. I don't really use it myself. And looks like Bosomtwe is probably going to win this engagement here just because the gunner soldiers outclass the orcs. We got Boromir out in the field. Awesome. So he should be very, very good for Bosomtwe. Daryl is continuing to send thralls all over the place. He's got him going south, he's got him going over here. I guess it's not really all over the place, but it's place. Going 2 places. Beautiful, beautiful direwolves. As you see, it's not doing a ton of damage to the archer it was attacking. But, I mean, they are able to, like, flank quickly and get onto archer lines, which is helpful. But they're not as good as, say, the warg pack, which are actually made to counter swordsmen and archers. And here we go, little scuffle here. I think Bosomtwe will be fine there. He's got a battalion of each kind of unit, and they're buffed. It's going to be very hard for Daryl to deal with that, I think. Doesn't look like he's opting to do so. Where's the base? There it is. This mini-map is hard for me to navigate. I don't know why. I know where the bases are, I just can't fucking figure it out. Angmar has claimed both signal fires, it looks like. Although Bosomtwe is about to change that. I'm not sure if it's Bosomtwe or Bosomtwe. I call him Bosomtwe, so deal with it, but could be Bosomtwe, of course. Or Bosomtwe? No, probably. Bosomtwe sounds the most natural to me. I don't know. Anywho. Looks like he's about to lose a farm here. That's going to be pretty much guaranteed. Unless, of course, he throws down a rebuild, and even if he threw down a rebuild, they're in a good position. They would get that, but it'd be stupid to throw down a rebuild on a farm. This is a single farm. Unless it's like a level 3 farm that's in your base or something. That's not really a stupid use, but it does look like Bosomtwe's army over here in the Angmar base is being overpowered a bit. Just with enough axe throwers, anything can happen. Of course, he has the ability to put out 4 units at once, 5 if you count these. But he can put out many a thrall very quickly. Of course, a good counter to Thrall Masters is Éomer, Éowyn, or Faramir. Mainly Faramir and Éowyn, though. Because their single target spear throw and arrow shot take out Thralls in one shot. Generally. So that's very useful. Éomer has a chance that he might... I mean, it's weaker. I don't think Éomer's one-shots a Thrall Master, as it's more of an AoE move. But it is definitely good to get those heroes against Angmar. And they'll be generally useful, at least until early game, or late game rather. Orm using his Horn of Gondor to freeze the army of Daryl. Daryl using Fell Wind to suck Boromir into the army there. He should be alright though, I think. He's got Hobbit support as well. The Hobbit's arrow, or rocks, Silverthorn rocks, are doing quite nicely there. Of course, they are destroyers of anything that is thrown at them, so they're very good. They one-shot units generally. These are buffed, so I think there's like 2 buffed in hold ground stance. We have Rohirrim out for Bosomtwe as well. Very nice indeed. And he also has this, both signifiers now as well. Although it looks like one of them is about to be claimed by Daryl. And Daryl is also raiding here with some dire wolf packs, and also here with some Root Spearmen. Just gonna try and pick up a builder there. Bosomtwe's not quick, he might lose his builder. And he does get him out of there though. So he should be just fine. Bosomtwe's army over here is pretty big, although a lot of them are hobbits and they will be despawning soon. Still, he's got archers, pikemen, Rohirrim, and Boromir. That's pretty good. So I think he'll do well there. Of course, he has an army here. A couple archers and some swords. And the Wolfriders getting a nice charge through there. While the Axors and Gundabad orcs try and clean up. Unfortunately, the wolf pack was killed off, Wolf Riders. Now he's being attacked from 2 sides, and that's going to be a little hard for him to deal with his current army, that's for sure. Let's take a look at economy and power points currently. Daryl is at 260 of 500, 4 power points. With Frozen Land, Fellwind, and War Chant, so all 3 of his level 5 powers. Bosomtwe has gone for level 10 Subbit Hobbits, or 10 power points rather, and 2 5s, a heal and rally call. He's at 4 power points, 580 to 675. So he's Bosomtwe's ahead in army size and command point limit. So he's got more farms as well. So in general, I'd say he's just doing better all around currently. Daryl can catch up no problem if he's plays his cards right, of course. He might want to transition into some stronger units and thralls, though, I think. Perhaps upgrade one of these, start getting maybe some Black Numenorians, or upgrade even further to Dark Rangers. Dark Rangers generally will win you games, so they're pretty good. Although, these Rohirrim are going to be a real pain in his side. So, that could be a problem for him. Of course, they can just be switched to bow mode to sit there and range down these guys. They're not super effective, but they're not terrible either. If they were super effective, of course, they'd be overpowered as shit. Might as well be Lindens at that point. Boromir does fall, though. That's a big loss for Bosomtwe, though. So, maybe things will swing back in Daryl's favor now. Perhaps. Or perhaps not. Because we do have an Angmar on the field now. There are a lot of pikes for Angmar, so... well, he's going to have a grip with the Rohirrim and just chill out there, I'd imagine. He is giving the Horse Lord a buff to the Cav, so at least they'll have that. Cavalry, of course, has to be very careful around Angmar. They have the ability to put out a lot of pikes, and they also have Fellwind. Fellwind is generally an army killer, or a Cav killer. You think you're safe, you swing by, oh, I'm microwing really well, microwing rather, and then you get sucked into an army of pikes, and then you just cry. It sucks. But fortunately, it is on cooldown for Daryl. Even more reason for him to claim these signal fires. That currently he's about to try and claim one. But currently Bosomtwe owns both, and that is good for him. He's got his stables, of course, up to level 2. He's got soldiers producing still, and he's still opting to keep going for Gondor archers. I think at this point he probably could go for rangers if he wanted to. But, I mean, he's doing just fine with the Gondor archers as well, so it doesn't really matter too much. Rangers are better archers, as you expect, but against thralls, I mean, you can do quite well with just basic archers. Because they're not particularly tanky, are they? They do the damage, they just don't have the range. Or the special abilities at level 2 or what have you. But they can be upgraded with heavy armor, if you ever had a desire to give your Gondor archers heavy armor. Ooh, Bosomtwe loses ability there. Not an unfortunate loss. He'd do well to capture the signal fire as well, I would think. He's starting to get a big stack of spam out here. Oh, there it is. Is he going to get the kill? The heal goes down on Angmar, though. And it looks like he will get him out of there. He's actually going to stay and throw a spear. Very nice. And the Rohirrim just sitting there, throwing arrows around. Down goes the Hobbit Summon and the Vile Galadriel being used to cause fear upon the enemies. And then they cannot fight back as they get killed dead. We also have Boromir out with leadership. So that'll be very, very useful for Bosomtwe, of course. Leadership is always, always huge. It's a big buff that you get, and Angmar does not get, so there you go. Angmar, instead of having buffs, of course they have the debuffs from heroes, like the Witch King's debuff. They have Morgmir's debuff, the Nazgul debuffs in general. It's kind of an anti-leadership, I guess, in a way. I don't know how much, though. Like, how much does Morgmir statistically actually drain their armor and damage? That's what I would like to know. Because if they buff 33% for both armor and damage, how much does the debuff do? I don't have any idea. But I would hope it would be something similar. Ooh. Right here, and clipped a few pikemen there. Nothing too serious, though. That's the thing, you can afford to do that with these, because you can just send them back to heal up. I'm assuming he has a well. He doesn't have a well. Interesting. You definitely want a well if you're playing with a lot of cav, though. I'd say this counts as a lot. It doesn't really. It's only 2 battalions of cav, but still, it's not like you want to lose them. I guess they're on the field constantly. I haven't had to go back yet. I'm sure he's using his money elsewhere. The Rohirrim are doing work. Looks like Daryl's trying to take on the cave troll as well. It looks like he does succeed. The inn isn't particularly useful for Angmar, though. Their special unit is a Thrall Master of Wildmen. So, I mean, that's not very good. As opposed to where the Men of the West, though, if they can get that, they can get the Dunedain Rangers, which is pretty huge. Of course, not a very fair, balanced thing. The inn units are not balanced very well in 2.02, I gotta admit. So, that will be changing, of course. As I tend to say with everything. There's a few changes here and there coming our way at some point. But I don't know when. When it's done, I guess. There's the Rohirrim summon to try and counter the giant summon from Daryl. Should be enough. He has archers and Rohirrim and everything on the fort. Oh my god, he's actually taking the fort down very quickly. And the fell wind! Oh dear. Does Bosomtwe have her build? He does not, and he's so close. He's actually going to lose his fort. Ooh, down goes his fortress. Very nice pick up for Daryl there. Very clutch and desperately needed, I'd say. He was on the back foot for quite some time. But there is a big army from Bosomtwe here at the back of his base. The game is not over yet. Just because a player has lost his fort does not mean he's out of the game. And as you see, a fortress is going back up for Bosomtwe. So he should have that out shortly. Meanwhile, he has a lot of summoned Rohirrim. Might do well to pick up this gold. But of course he can charge these in willy-nilly and have them die. It doesn't matter. Because they're going to despawn anyway, and they're not going to give enemy power points for kills. They're disposable armies. That's what summon armies are. Use them as you see fit. Looks like a mill was taken out there. How many mills does Daryl have now? Oof, not many. 255 of 350. Bosomtwe is still at 554 of 575, so he's way ahead on the command point front. He's got a lot more farms. Bosomtwe is doing a good job of shutting down the Angmar economy, which is already very bad, as we all know. And he's also keeping the signal fires under his control. Daryl is a bit in trouble, I think. He can put out a bunch of thralls, but he will not overpower strong Men of the West armies with thralls. It's just not going to happen, probably. Boromir's going to see to it as well, with that leadership buff. And just being there with his Horn of Gondor and such. And they may engage here. They will indeed. Boromir's actually giving experience to his troops. Very nice. He's got some level 5 archers and level 5 Rohan Spearmen as well. Nice charge through with the Rohirrim. Angmar doing his duty. And yes, definitely things are in Bosomtwe's favor. Even though he has lost his fortress, he is still winning the game. Although Walder is out in the field now. So that'll make things a little bit more difficult. But not too much, considering he doesn't have any support whatsoever. There's a wounded Thrall and another Thrall with one single axe thrower. He needs guys out desperately. Problem that he's going to face now is, if Bosomtwe stays here, any Thralls that pop out of these buildings will be shot dead immediately. Which is a problem Angmar faces quite often. And if the Thrall doesn't get to summon his Thrallmaster, then or Thrallmaster doesn't get to summon his Thralls at all, it shuts them down very quickly. Bosomtwe is not camping the Thralls as they come out, it seems. Walder is very outnumbered. This is the reason I like to either turn my barracks around so they pop out the back, or put them back behind the fort, as Angmar at least. That's a personal preference, so I'm not saying it's better play or anything. A lot of players do this, where their things are in the front. But when you're up against a team that can camp with good archers or something, it makes it a little difficult. But I guess that's the same for any faction, really, isn't it? Any guy that comes out of a barracks can be shot dead. I just feel it's more prominent for Thralls because they could die before they get to do anything. Before they even press their summon Thrall button. Bosomtwe is preparing for a final attack, it looks like. He's got a lot of archers, which isn't going to help him destroy the base unless he gets fire arrows, of course. Which I would definitely recommend doing at this point. He is upgrading his archery range. If he got the fire arrows, he'd be very well off. But currently, without it, it's going to be tough. He summoned a lone tower, and he's going to garrison it with some archers there. Very nice. Lone tower is very useful for that. And that gives him a strong front against Angmar here. And the arrow tower is fighting the fortress there. Or the fortress fighting the arrow tower, rather. Instead of his units, so his units are not dying off. Also, another good use of the lone tower. It's just tanking the arrow fire. And if it gets killed, it's whatever, you know. It's a freaking summoned tower. No one gives a shit. You could also rebuild it. Personally, I would, if he had it. He doesn't have rebuild up, so that won't happen. Summon Giants is coming close to getting off cooldown again. Looks like Angmar does have that. The West have that. And there is 3 battalions of Rohirrim with Angmar down there. He could just send Angmar with the Rohirrim at the port and he'd probably win the game. But I'd say he's definitely won the game at this point anyway. There's no doubt about it. And there it goes. The fortress of Angmar is now falling. Falling quickly. His archers, look at his archers. He has so many archers that can't do anything because he doesn't have fire arrows. Unfortunately. If you have fire arrows, his fort will be down. At least everything else. Does Daryl have Snowbind? He could have, but he opted not to because what would be the point, really? He knows he's lost. And that is fair enough. But yeah, he put up a good fight. He took a fort. So that was pretty good. But Bosomtwe managed to overpower him with a lot of men of the West. So well played to him. And it looks like this game will be coming to a close here any moment now. There it is. Beautiful. Cool. There you go. A nice little 1v1 on the Westfold map, which is a not bad map. So, nice to, as I always say, nice to see a 1v1 on a map that's not Forza Horizon 2. Because I am always sick of that map. I know it's the map, but hey, doesn't mean I have to like it. But anyway, that was good. And I hope you guys enjoyed that as well, so I'll see you all in the next cast of the Rise of Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. See you all next time.